Hello everyone, welcome back again to another sewing tutorial right here on this channel. In today's video guys, we'll be learning how to make this very easy blouse with a little twist around the neckline. If this is what you're willing to watch guys, kindly watch the video to the end. Do not forget to hit the like button if you find it so enjoying, share the video, and most importantly subscribe. So without wasting much of your time guys, let's get started. So guys, I simply started off by prepping the pattern for this style illustration, which is a simple basic block. So basically this is the front pattern of the basic block, and then what I simply did was to create the basque effect from the above the hip line down to the center front. Okay, so now I went ahead to draft the pattern for the back as well. So just like the front, this is basically a very quick sketch of the back pattern, and I simply did the same, creating the same basque effect from a few inches above the hip line, and then I linked it up to the center front on the hip line. Okay guys, so this is simply a quick sketch. Okay, so after much I went ahead to use the pattern to cut out the fabric. So I simply used a taffeta for this blouse, and I use the same taffeta for the main fabric and also as a lining. Okay, so it's not a standard. You can go ahead to use your normal lining for it, but I just felt like using the same taffeta to give me the kind of effect that I want. Okay, so I notched the neckline, and this is the center front for, this is the zip allowance for the back pattern. I'll simply go ahead and cut it open as you can see me doing. So guys, having done that, what I simply did was to use a basting stitch to close up the zip allowance for the back pattern to enable me create my neckline. Remember that on the pattern there was no neckline drafted on it. So I'm going to be creating the asymmetric neckline right away. So I'll simply, secure both fabric together so that I will kind of immobilize the two fabrics, so that they will share the same neck effect. Okay, I hope I'm making points. So what I simply did was to come down by 4 inches. So my off shoulder is 4 inches. You can do 5 inches, and you can choose the side you want. It can either be on this side or on the other side. So remember that I notched my neckline. So from the point I notched, which is 4 inches neckline, so just have a clear measurement of your neckline, and then I linked it to the 4 inches off shoulder. Okay, and then I created my curve. So what I simply did before cutting it out was to ensure that my zip allowance was well open. You can use your iron to relax it properly, but I just used my hands to open up the seam so that it would be a very neat cut at the back. So you can see how I linked up the curve, the asymmetric curve from the neckline down to the 4 inches off shoulder. So guys, having done that, you can see what it is. I used my interfacing to stabilize the fabric. So I used air stay for the main fabric, and I used a gum stay for the lining, a very light gum stay for the lining. So this is what it is. So I also went ahead to place the darts. You can see how I narrowed my dart from the waistline up to the bust point and down to the hemline for the front pattern. Okay, so I would want to encourage you guys not to grip your dart from the down part, gripping it from the hemline upwards. So your dart should be from your center, which is your waist, narrowed up to your chest bust point and down to your hemline. So basically this is the other part of the pattern which I cut out, the back and the front, the main fabric, the same fabric, the lining, the same taffeta fabric, and then I have my dart up placed on it. Okay, so this is the front pattern, and this is the lining for the front pattern. When you're cutting a fabric with asymmetric neckline, I want to appeal to you guys not to cut it with the right side in the opposite direction. So it has to be placed in this way. I don't know if you guys saw it, but it should be placed in the opposite direction. Okay, so that by the time you're turning it up like this, you have something like this. Okay, so I've used my lining to turn off the main fabric. guys, as you can see, and then I closed up my neckline. So for the neckline, I also want to add that I came down by 6 inches from the center front of the neckline. I came down by 6 inches. You know, the previous video, the previous clip just showed me linking it from the shoulder to the neckline, but the major neckline from the center front is down by 6 inches so that it doesn't get too chunky. Okay, so after turning it up, I also relaxed the zipper allowance. I will simply place my zip on it. I'll take it to my machine and attach the zip. And then after doing that, I'll simply go ahead and close up the shoulder, join the shoulder of the front and the back. So watch me, I will just place it this way and I'll close it up. Okay, I'll place it this way, lining to lining, main fabric to main fabric, and then I'll stitch it up. Okay, and then top stitch the armhole to enable me have a neat joining. Okay, so I'll do this and then I'll bring it back for us to see. So guys, I've closed up the shoulder seam, and then I also placed my zip, as you can see. What I simply did also was top stitching the armhole, like I mentioned earlier. So I'll go ahead and attach the sleeve. This is a simple basic sleeve. I have a tutorial on this. You can go ahead and check it out. So I'll attach the sleeve to the part that has a shoulder, and then for the off shoulder, I'll quickly show you guys what I did to create the off shoulder. So I placed my fabric on fold like so, and then I went ahead to take the measurements between my front armhole to my back armhole. So right there I have 9 inches, and since I have my fabric placed on fold, I mapped out 4.5. I marked 4.5 inches, then I added additional 1 inch seam allowance to be on the safe side. Okay, so this is 4.5 inches, and then I marked additional 1 inch. You can do half an inch, but just play safe and add half an inch should in case there is need for adjustment. Okay, so from that point I went ahead to draft my armhole, as you can see, and then I also took a precise measurement of my round biceps where the sleeve is going to be stopping, and right there I have around 13 inches. So since my fabric is on fold, I'll be marking 6.5 inches, and then I added half an inch seam allowance and then created the curve like so. Okay, so it's a very easy thing to pattern to draft. So I'll go ahead and cut this pattern drafted on my fabric. So I'll be placing the off shoulder sleeve. I'll be stitching it this way. Okay, I'll run my stitch from the seam allowance and then I'll curve it this way down there. Okay, so guys, I've attached my sleeve after turning it up with my lining. So I'll simply go ahead and close up the sides. So I'll just place it this way, right sides facing each other, and I'll go ahead and close up the sides. Okay, so it's a very easy thing to do. Okay, so guys, simply ensure that you close up your sides using your appropriate body measurement. I meant to say for the bust line, the way it is, half of your bust circumference, which is your bust circumference divided by 2, you mark it there. Your waist circumference divided by 2, you mark it there, and then your hip circumference divided by 2, and then you can now take it to your sewing machine and then create your stitch. So guys, for the pleats around the neckline, I have this band, this piece of fabric measuring 5 inches. Okay, so using my measuring tape, you can clearly see that I have 5 inches. So basically, I want this band to be around 2 inches. So by the time I place it on fold with the seam allowance, when I eventually turn it up, I would have my 2 inches. So you can see I've turned it up and given it a good press. It needs to be very flat, okay, so that it will give you that very neat effect that you really want. So I'll go ahead and top stitch it where I want it to be. So I'll be placing it at the back part of my shoulder, around my shoulder area, but at the back. Okay, I'll top stitch it there and then I'll pleat it into the armhole. Okay, so I'm going to be showing you guys how I will pleat this. Okay, so just keep on watching, guys. So this is just the pleating. I will still show you guys how I eventually pleated it, but I just wanted to show you the pleat effect and where I started from. So you can see it's starting from the back of my shoulder where I basically have my full sleeve. So you can see that I secured it with a pin. I've not stitched it yet. I just used a pin to secure the pleats properly. Okay, so you need to use your pin to secure your pleats very well. So my band became exhausted and I was yet to complete the pleat, so I'll go ahead and make more band using the same measurement. I'll neatly attach the band and then give it a very good press and still continue my pleats till I get to the back of the armhole. Okay, so guys, this is the continuation of the pleating, and as you can see clearly, I have added the additional band to enable me finish up the pleats till I get to the desired place where I eventually will tuck it in. Okay, so I will continue the pleat by pleating it neatly, then I will use my pin to secure it like so. So just keep on watching and you will understand how the process went on. Okay, so I'll pleat it down and then ensure that you take your pleats around your neckline. Don't just pleat it below it. Lift up your strip around the neckline and create your pleat. So I'm pinning it up and down, okay, so that it will hold firmly. Okay, so I'll continue pleating neatly around the neckline till I eventually get at the back, or stop rather at the back of the armhole. So it's a very easy thing to achieve, guys. So I'll continue, I'll take it to my sewing machine and then stitch it up. So guys, this is eventually what we have. You can see how beautiful it's looking. And so guys, if you find this video so helpful, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you guys in my next video. So have a blessed day. Keep on watching my videos and then keep on supporting the growth of the channel. God bless you so much. Thank you so much.